What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the 24th of May today. Here we are at about 1.86 cents. Not a whole lot has changed since the last video. I do want to clear the air a little bit because there seems to be some confusion in last night's video. What I did not say, let's just start with what I did not say. What I did not say was we are abandoning OnyxCoin. XCN is forlorn, and now we're going to put all of our money in syrup. That's not what I said. That's absolutely not what I said. I said last night, I like OnyxCoin a lot. It's my biggest bag. It's something that I have a lot of conviction in, and as far as this crypto market goes, I intend to not sell any of the coins that I've been holding for over a year. But I did say that I wanted to allocate more into syrup. That's what I said, right? I didn't say get rid of your OnyxCoin and put it in syrup, though it seems as though some of you might have done that because OnyxCoin is only up 1.7% and syrup's up 8%, so that's probably why the pump is happening. No, probably not. Syrup's just at a lower market cap. It's at a lower market cap. The daily RSI is more bullish than OnyxCoin's daily RSI at the time of making this. You see how syrup moves up is nice. It takes, it's kind of constructive. It takes like weeks to get up here. OnyxCoin, when it moves up, it doesn't need weeks. What it does in weeks is a 20x, you know what I mean? So this, just because it has a higher market cap doesn't mean that it can't move faster, right? Coins, everything has their own personality. They move at different paces. I'm expecting that when OnyxCoin moves, it's going to blow out anything in the whole space. It's going to outperform everything. It's literally going to move up so fast it's going to make your head spin, right? We're at 1.86 cents now. I think that the OnyxCoin gods are going to prove me wrong, and we're not going to be at 5.5 cents by the end of the month, but on the 1st of June, that's that's whenever we'll be there, right? But we'll probably be breaking out at some point by the end of the month. I really wouldn't be surprised if we're at 5.5 cents or higher by the end of this month of May. I think that this last week that we're going through right now, we literally have 7 days, 9 hours, and 56 minutes left in the week now. I really do believe that this will be the week that we break out, but time will tell. I keep getting a lot of gripers, a lot of complainers in the comments who are like, you said that last week would have been the week. Yes, I'm aware. I said that in yesterday's video. Thank you for making a comment about the fact that I said that as well, right? Yes, I expected that this last week would have been the week that we'd break out. I would have, right? I definitely did expect that. We were looking pretty good over here last week on Thursday, Friday, being at the overbought zone. It was looking like we were going to go, but hey, we rejected the overbought zone. So we need to reconfigure ourselves. We need to find support at areas of support. We need to come back up and try again. And when we come back up and try again, which will probably be this week, this ending week of May, we're probably going to break through and get into the overbought zone. What happens when we get overbought? Well, you tell me. What happens, right? We get some pretty massive price action. Even when it's not massive, it's still nice. You know what I mean? Like that. Better to range going upwards than to range going sideways, right? But here we are, much like this consolidation phase here. We've been consolidating now for a little bit longer, but from that high to where we broke out, it was 42 days. Whereas here, as to where we are right now, we're at 43 days. Very, very similar. Patience. An extra week isn't going to kill you. Okay, it's not a big deal. And likely we don't see this movement happen over the weekend. Likely today and tomorrow and the next day even are boring, right? So that's kind of the expectation. It wouldn't surprise me if we were up a little bit by Monday or Tuesday. It wouldn't surprise me if we were up back around 2 cents, but I very much don't expect that we're going to go below this low. I would not expect that we go too much lower than where we are now. Let's look at this low here to the high and just see where we are on the fibs. That was not the low, and that was not the high. Let's see, low to high. Very close to our golden ratio. OnyxCoin has been doing this thing where it gets really close to its golden ratio and then finding support there. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was it, but we could go a little bit lower, right? It's really not a problem if OnyxCoin does go to like 1.79 cents. That's fine. We can go below 1.8 cents, guys, and it's fine. Even down to like 1.75 cents, but I wouldn't want us to go too much lower than that. Maybe 1.7 cents at the lowest, 1.69 cents at the lowest, but I wouldn't want to see us go below that, okay? Odds are we don't even go that low. And within a couple of days from now, or a few days from now at the most, we're going to be looking like we're ready to break out to the upside. And all of these worries, all these concerns are going to go away. OnyxCoin is not a dead coin. It's a top performing coin. It's literally one of the best performing coins in the space. I mean, if I had my list in front of me, let me just see here real quick. Just real quick. Because I went through the top 420 coins, right? I went through the top 420 coins, or something, probably even a little bit more than that, and found out which coins are performing the best. OnyxCoin didn't make the list of the top 8 performers, but whenever it comes to top performers, it was up 165% from April 7th to the day that I measured this on, which is like 3 days ago. So that would have been May 21st or something like that. There are not many cryptos here that are up over 100%. There's a good bit, don't get me wrong, there's a good bit, but the majority, the average crypto, is up something on the lines of like 30 to 60%. OnyxCoin's up 165%, right? So we're outperforming the markets. At large, we're outperforming the markets. We might not be the shining star, the best performing crypto, but we might be. Who knows? Maybe we're just lagging right now, right? Some of those other coins that were in the top 8, they had a breakout move. OnyxCoin's waiting for its breakout move. It'll be after this breakout move. I mean, if we really think about it, right? There's the top 8 coins I defined as being up over 300% from April 7th. Right? If they're consolidating, they're up over 300% since April 7th. But if they're consolidating, and OnyxCoin has been consolidating, it's ready to break out. OnyxCoin might be at 5.5 cents while those coins are still consolidating. This thing will be up 600% while those are only up 300%. You know what I mean? So things take their turns. Just because it's not in the top 8 performers now doesn't mean that it can't be. I really do expect OnyxCoin to continue to be a top performer as it was in April, as it was in January, as it will be for the rest of the market. That's what I'm saying here. There's not many altcoins. If we look at this, we go to the others chart. Others here, you know, from the beginning of the bull market, which let's just go all the way to the bottom of the bear market right there. From the low to where they are now, they're up 283%. Bitcoin, in this same kind of context, from its low, bear market low, to where it is now, is up 602%. Most coins are down, that they haven't even seen half the growth Bitcoin has seen, right? Most coins in crypto have not. OnyxCoin, however, from the bear market lows, which would have been here around that same time. It's actually even a whole year later. Bitcoin stopped in November of 2022. That's where its low came from. OnyxCoin, October 2023, a whole year later, is up 27x. It's up a whole 2,000% more than Bitcoin is. It's up a whole 2,300% more than the average altcoin is. It's been outperforming the average altcoin at large, humongously, and now it's at a multi-hundred million dollar market cap. The top performance stuff, this stuff happens whenever you're worth less than $100 million and you're working your way up there. When you're worth hundreds of millions, you don't see this kind of movement, but you still see miraculous movement. You can still see a lot of growth from where OnyxCoin is right now, you guys. What's the market cap? It's like 600 something million, right? 623. To get to a 100x would be $62 billion in market cap valuation. And with the implied inflation, maybe it'd be closer to like 65 or $70 billion in market cap valuation. That's not impossible to achieve. We've seen meme coins get valued at higher valuations than that. We can see OnyxCoin get to a higher valuation than that. And if we don't get 100x, boo-hoo. Okay, so we don't see OnyxCoin at $1.86. Maybe we see it at a higher price. Maybe we only get $1.50, $1.40, but it's still going to be phenomenal. It will still outperform the average altcoin at large, and it's one of my biggest bags for that reason alone, man. I mean, you can stake this coin if you want to stake it. Just make sure that you've got, if you're thinking about selling by the end of the market, make sure that you've got your coins unstaked and ready to do all that ahead of time, right? You don't want to be unstaking while the rest of the market is trying to unstake. Or if you're just planning on staking through the bear market, I wouldn't blame you. I mean, let's go over that real quick. This is actually a concept I was working out in my head last night. I'm under the assumption that OnyxCoin, where it's going to go, is somewhere between, let's just say $1 at a minimum to $2, a little bit over $2 at a maximum. Okay. Let's just say right there, yeah. That's the min-max. That's so somewhere in this range. Let's go right in the middle. Right in the middle there, okay? Yeah. Typically, the average altcoin drops about 90%, 94%, something like that, right? 97%, somewhere in that kind of range. Last cycle, OnyxCoin, and let's actually look real quick. What did it drop from its all-time high? Probably dropped like 99%. Oh, why do I keep doing Coinbase? Go to crypto. High to low, Dropped 99.6%. Okay, so I would expect that this cycle it drops less than 99%, which that shouldn't be too hard to do. So in the next bear cycle, let's say it drops 94%. That's a good standard average, right? 94%, you guys, would take you to higher prices than you are now. 94, what about 97? It'll take you to higher prices than you are now. I doubt OnyxCoin will be worth, all I'm trying to say here is not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if OnyxCoin has a bullish cycle to come in the next cycle, and I think it does, then likely what's going to happen is even at the bottom of the bear market, even at the bottom, this is a wild concept. Stick around, guys. This we're going to connect some dots. If you haven't connected it already, if you can't see into the future and understand what I'm about to say, just listen up, okay? Odds are OnyxCoin right now, after its bull market, it comes back down to its bear market. If we see what I would expect, this is even actually below what I expected to stop at, but that's how we know that we're giving it a fair shake here, right? $1.50 around there or higher. If we're at $1.50 or higher, likely, and even then, let's just see, hold on. Even if we're at $1, even if we're at $1, if you go to $1 or higher, you will likely not return to these prices in the bear market. You will probably be finding support at the top end of this area by the end of the bear market. That's probably what's going to happen, okay? Therefore, if you take all your Onyx coins right now and you stake them, even through the bear market, you're going to be doing all right, man. This thing's got longevity and it's got high staking. You stake the average coin, you want to stake USDC or USDT, you're going to get 4%, 5% APR. This thing's doing 30% right now in the hot times, right? In the bear market, it's probably going to shift. It'll probably be shifting, but I would assume it's still going to be high. Like you could stake, and I know that I've painted a bad picture around staking before, and I've given my reasons for that, and I stand by it. There's a reason why I'm not staked myself. It just adds inherent risk. You're in crypto. Why would you want to add inherent risk? But it does add inherent reward. And let's be real. Anybody who's been staking for the last year or more, they're killing it right now. They're doing great. They're loving life. Everybody who's staking is loving life. And the more that I talk about it, the more that I'm like, why the hell am I not staking? And you could literally stake now and stake between now and the end of the bull market, end of the bear market, going into the next bull market, and the price will not even come back to these lows. Therefore, whatever it is that you put in on your initial investment for staking will literally grow in value itself, and you'll get the return on the staking rewards. I think I just talked myself into throwing everyone's life savings into this, staking it myself, and just holding on to it for years, because I really do think that this thing's got longevity. Yes, there's inflation. Yes, I'm aware of all that. But there's also deflation. There's a burn mechanism. There's also, a lot of growth that's going to be had here, and that will help prevent us from returning to these prices. And get this, even at the worst case scenario, let's say the bear market's worse than I expect, we're going to go a little bit below this price. So for most of the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to be staking at a higher price than you're at now and receiving coins based on that. And then it goes a little bit lower for a time, and you have an opportunity after you've staked all these coins, you've got your rewards, you've got an opportunity to dump those rewards in at lower prices. If you haven't used them on your day-to-day living situations, it's not bad. It's not bad. Anyways, guys, OnyxCoin, especially with its staking, is a very appetizing thing. Don't expect it to be 30% the whole way through, but during the bull market, and especially during peak times, I bet we'll have that just for engagement purposes. But I would expect a little bit of a pullback during the bear market as far as what the staking rewards are. I'm curious to see what that is, but even then, I would expect it to be competitive to what we're going to see with USDC or USDT, which will be something probably above a 5% APR. So even then, 5% APR in a bear market, you got $1 million that you made, right? Why can't I do that? Is that $50,000? $50,000 a year, right? Right? Because 5% would be 50,000. 50% would be 500,000. Yes. Okay. So yeah. I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Let alone if you have more. But I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I think I just talked myself into selling everything and buying OnyxCoin and staking it for the next 3 years and just not worrying about money. Not worrying about it. But the thing is, again, with staking, you're effectively not in control of your cryptos, right? They're on the chain, they're on the network, and you have control. You can unstake, and that's fine as long as everything works. But what if things don't go right? What if something happens with the protocol? What if these staked coins get lost or something? Or I don't know. Weird things have happened in the past with staking. Do your own research. Make sure it's something that suits your risk profile. As much as I'm talking about it now, I'm probably not going to stake. I like my money to be liquid. And you can unstake pretty quick is what I hear, but that's in moments of low traffic. What about in high traffic? I had one guy tell me that whenever he tried to unstake his coins back at the end of January, it took him like 3 days. So in areas of high traffic, it can take more time. Right now, it might be like that, which is nice, but what about in high traffic? Whenever it's in high traffic, it's like a bank run, right? Everybody's trying to unstake. The reason why it takes 3 days is because it's not because that money's just sitting there untouched. If it was just sitting there untouched, it wouldn't take 3 days for it to come. You know what I mean? That's not how it works. If it takes 3 days, that means that they've got to pull money together to pay off people who are trying to unstake their coins, because they're using that money like banks do. They're fractionally reserving their coins, and I don't like the idea of that. There's a little talk of not being part of the staking stuff, right? That's why I'm so reluctant to do it. But even then, even still, like just this concept of running to all-time highs this cycle by the end of the year, wherever it might be, wherever we might be, as long as we're above $1, odds are we won't even be at this price in the depths of the bear market next cycle. Which would imply if you stake between now and all the way through the bear market and all the way into the next bull market, you're only going to be in the profits and raking in staking rewards as a result, regardless of how low they drop. It's at 30% now. It could drop to 5%, and it probably does over the bear market. And it's still good. It's still good because you're still holding your value in this, which will be more valuable than it is now, even in the depths of the bear market, and you're making 30% every damn year. Or 5% every year at that rate, but whatever. Anyways, I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. No, I'm not saying put all of your OnyxCoin into Syrup. That's not what I'm saying. There's good things about Syrup. There's good things about OnyxCoin. Syrup and OnyxCoin are similar, not completely the same. Obviously, they're just similar as far as like what their niche environment is, their sector in crypto is. And Syrup's at a lower market cap for now, so it has a little more potential on the growth side, but OnyxCoin has maybe more potential to make you money overall. But I got nothing else, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Bye-bye.